my guides told me, be gone by 2025. I was like, pack your bags, get out of here, shit is going down. I got caught in the crossfire of the California karmic debt.
How did you detox?
I definitely left my body for a little. I needed to come back into the body. I needed to be grounded. We're kind of all living out these different parallel timelines at the same time.
Yeah.
I started connecting with those versions.
Right.
My name is Crystal Streets, and I am a 21st century modern day alchemist. And welcome to my multiverse. Come on in.
So you have lost everything at this point, everything. And now, this force ending, how did it make you feel? Did it feel like universe, God, whatever was your spirit guides are saying, I'm forcing this ending? Or was it a welcoming to something new? Was it a welcoming to a new portal? Was it a welcoming to a new you?
And in both.
And or both.
Yeah. Yes, I was forced out. Yes, I didn't listen. But once I was forced out, it was clear that it was time for me to go. And I think it became a portal immediately. And I think one of the things that I had a reading with one of our favorite healers.
Yeah.
Jackie, and she shared with me that my guides were saying to her I could no longer do shadow work.
Wow.
And that kind of hit me. I was like, what do you mean? This is my life's work. This is my life's passion. So I had to sit with that, like, now I can't even do my work, my shadow work, like that's who I am. But she said to me that I had been collecting a lot of the karmic shadow because I had been doing so much shadow work, and that even the fire, I got caught in the crossfire of the California karmic debt.
Yeah.
Even that land that I was living on.
Wow.
There was so much karmic debt on the land that I was living on that had nothing to do with me.
So now you're having all of these signs and clear messages.
Yeah.
Were there any other messages that was coming through for you during your the grieving stage of the fires?
I needed to clear myself. Like I needed to clear, like even my jewelry. I took off all of my jewelry because I needed to detox of everything. Like I was just like complete in my raw state.
How did you detox? Can you share like certain things that you did? I remember colloidal silver was always being taken.
Yeah.
People detox in different ways for different reasons. What was your...
Yeah, a lot of people detox by like fasting. I don't find that is the best form of detox for me. I think sometimes detoxing for me is stripping down to my rawest form, which means I'm not getting any beauty treatments. I'm not wearing my jewelry. I'm wearing like the purest, simplest fabrics. I'm spending time in nature every day.
Yeah.
I'm sitting with the ocean. I'm like just stripping down to the bare basics. And that feels like I'm not on social media. I'm not watching anything. I'm just like raw. I'm like shedding my skin, you know?
Super clear.
Yeah.
That creates such clarity.
It does. And when you, and sometimes detoxing too is resting. Like once I had came off of that adrenaline run, my body needed rest. Like I was tired, I was exhausted. Like my mind, my body, soul was in survival mode. And so once I came down from that, I was like, oh, I need to rest. So I started like getting on my PMF mat. My friend my bestie who I lived with, she had one. And so I would do that. And then the acupuncture, and just even what I was eating, I wasn't like juice fasting or juice cleansing. It was more of a like, I was eating foods that grounded me, like root vegetables, like soups, things that I knew that would put me back in my body. Because I definitely left my body for a little. But when I needed to come back into the body, I needed to be grounded.
Of course.
Yeah.
After coming through such devastation, I feel like grounding is the number one thing we need after trauma.
Yeah.
I would like to discuss some of the PTSD that you are dealing with, right? With the fires. Like how are you feeling post fire? How is your body? How is your nervous system? How does that feel?
Yeah, my acupuncture has helped me tremendously move the energy through my body, but that PTSD is real. My son and I recently went to dinner and the fire alarm went off. And we both went into flight. Like we both got out of the table and almost ran out of the restaurant, and he was in tears. And I was like, wow, it's still sitting with me. I couldn't sleep for a long time because those images of the fire and the smoke and what I saw that day, it just was embedded in my mind. And so I just had to like really get quiet enough to hear myself. And then I started to like get back deep into my meditation. I had to use guided meditation. Sometimes I can meditate without anything. Yeah. But this go around, I had to go back into guided meditation because I needed someone to guide me and help me kind of filter out the noise.
Of course.
And help me like reprogram or like transmute those images. Yeah, I think when I finally started to rest and sleep, a lot of the processing too was done in my dreams. I was having crazy lucid, vivid dreams. And I think that little healing club helps me a lot.
I can only imagine what your body was going through.
Yeah.
Your nervous system.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that this was happening.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is I've spent so many years recalibrating my nervous system and healing my nervous system that my baseline is higher. So I made sure to stay up on like my tinctures, my herbs, my oregano oil, my black seed oil, my sea moss, my green juice. Then there was a time that I had zero appetite.
How long did it take for you to get to this point where you're gaining more clarity, you're taking care of yourself, you're feeling grounded?
I think once I was in my friend's house for a month, and her house is very beautiful, but it's very open. Like it's surrounded by windows and the ocean is right there. And I was so grateful to have that place to land and to be near the ocean. But what I realized is that I was going into a cocoon phase. I was going into hermiting, and I needed to be closed in. I needed to feel like hugged. Yeah. And so when I found my new house and I went to go see it before I signed the lease, it felt like cocooned, but a nice cocoon. It was like a cocoon you didn't mind leaving. It was a very comfortable, cushy, luxe cocoon. And once I got here, and I was able to set up my things, the little things that I had, my little suitcase, and then all the things that people had donated to me. And then I had a student of mine, she reached out and she was like, do you have your decks? And I was like, no, my tarot decks and my oracle decks. And she gifted me like almost all of my decks back. I was having like people do all these beautiful, magical. I had a friend of mine, Lauren Preston, amazing. I'm so grateful for her. She's a stylist too. And she literally reached out to all these brands and like sent me so much stuff for me and my kids. Mm-hmm. So it was like the little things that people were doing for me. My cousin, Crystal, she like, my brain right after the fire wasn't working. So I had so much paperwork to fill out. And she literally sat at the computer and helped me do all my insurance claims, mm-hmm. applications to mm-hmm. SBA, to FEMA, like apply for the kids' school. So it was like, and she came and took Zen to Legoland. It was like all these little things that everybody contributed to me helped me kind of get into a space where, in this house provided that cocoon mm-hmm. where I could deeply rest. And when you rest, you make space for the wisdom to be able to come in. So then that's when the messages really started to come in.
What were some of these messages? Can you share?
Some of the messages were, I need to leave California. Mm-hmm. It was very clear that in this new timeline that I am gonna officially be a global citizen. And that my time here was done. It was just done, like, could no longer be here. Mm. Another message was about new collections, new things I wanted to teach, new things I wanted to create. I just spent a lot of time embodying the new version of me. Like, to the point where all of my meditations became visual, emotional connections to my future self. Because what I've also learned during this process is that nothing is separate. We're kind of all living out these different timelines, parallel timelines at the same time. Yeah. So there's a version of me that's already living in my highest mm-hmm. timeline. There's a version of me that didn't experience this fire. There's a version of me that stayed in Bali. Mm-hmm. And so I started connecting with those versions. Right. And realizing that nothing is really separate. And what connects you to these versions of yourself is you embodying those frequencies. And how you embody those frequencies is through emotion. And when you tap into your heart, which is the bridge to your own personal heaven on earth, the heart determines your frequency. Mm-hmm. My heart was literally emptied. Wow. So because the heart had so much space in it, it was like an empty container. And so when it came to me, the guys just kept saying, now or never. Let this in. And I was like, okay, I'm letting it in. And I didn't feel like too proud. Only that initial time when my friend wanted to do the GoFundMe for me. But after I moved through that, I just opened my heart. I had people who were energetically working on my heart. Yeah, like my Gaia Goddess crew. Yeah, I had like different communities from different stages of my life who just, they were like, what do you need? Do you need some energy work? And I said, yeah, I need some heart work. And they would work on my heart for me. Yeah. So it was like, wow, I'm receiving energetically, I'm receiving physically, I'm receiving emotionally, I'm receiving spiritually, and that up-leveled me. And I believe that's why a big part of my transition has been in ease and flow, despite the grief, despite the loss, despite the tragedies, despite the PTSD, despite the traumatic experience. The transition has been easeful.
Where did you find the beauty? Where were those glimpses that kind of kept you afloat when all of these things were happening?
Yeah.
Because you're still grieving at the time, but all these things are happening and
Yeah.
you're seeing it.
You know, it would be times like, remember that night we got on the phone? It was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
When?
It was like, you weren't staying with me at that time.
Did I call you to
You were
check
at
on
the
you?
hotel.
Oh yeah, Joaquin. Yeah.
And you called me.
Yeah.
And I was giddy.
Yeah.
And you were
Yeah.
like, who is this?
Yeah, I remember.
And then I was like telling you about all the people that,
Were
like all
showing
these
up.
beautiful
Yes.
things that had happened to
Yes.
me. And how, wow, like, so, and we like sat on the phone for hours and we were talking
did.
about like, we were
We were
like,
up hella late.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the lobby talking to you. Yeah.
We were like reflecting to each other
Yeah.
like, wow, like, you're about to rise from the ashes. Like, I felt like the phoenix. I was like, oh, like,
Yeah, I remember.
and I was on that night. It was like those little moments of like, those little pockets. Or like when another one of my friends, she called me and I was telling her how sad I was about leaving my crystals behind. And then she started channeling my crystals. And I was like, the black tourmaline at the front door, what is she saying? Ask her, what is she saying? And she would go and channel from the black tourmaline. And I'd be like, the big rose quartz in front of the fireplace. Tell her that I'm sorry, right? And so it was like those little moments. It was like sitting there like, did this shit really happen? did I just like, did this just really happen to me? You know, it was like, and then I got in, like my dad came to me during my session with Jackie. And he said, you are lucky to be alive. And he's passed away. He said, you are so lucky to be alive. And I knew that day when I left out of that fire, because a part of me was like, should I just stay in my house? Because I thought the road was blocked and I couldn't get out of my neighborhood. So I was like, maybe I should just stay here. Maybe I should just like, you know, try to like fight the fire.
Yeah.
And so when I walked out of that house, y'all, I was smelling like I smelled and looked like smoke. Like it was like smoke was
Literal.
coming. Like, yeah. Like when I finally got out of that day and took off my clothes and took the shower, like I was like, oh. When I opened my car gasoline door, there was ashes all in my tank, all in like the outside of my tank. I was like, oh, I'm happy to be alive. I'm just happy to be alive. I'm happy to be alive and I get another chance. I get another chance to recreate the life that I know I'm already living.
Yeah.
Not of my dreams, because my dreams would mean that those are separate from me. And so on this new timeline, I'm packing light.
And the new timeline is beginning.
New timeline loading.
And we cannot wait to find out what's happening next.
In the next episode, I'll be sharing this new timeline that's loading. And I'm so excited to share it with you.
It's good. It's juicy.
It's so juicy. We're taught that the only way we can evolve is through suffering. You don't have to suffer to die. Joy is the frequency that I'm leaning into next.
What do you think has been one of the most powerful lessons you've learned?
Everything is interconnected. Your body is sending you messages all day, but we don't listen.
How is your relationship with this idea of death now?
Never in a million years did I think this fire would be happening in my backyard. After this, nothing can break me.